This Acheke went to Harvard. It graduated the top of its class. It even has an MD PhD. It's also being nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Just kidding. So over the years, people have coined this term about my acheke and named it the Harvard acheke. And I think they're naming it the Harvard acheke because it's just so luxurious. It's so fancy. It's over the top. And that's just the way that I like it. This acheke recipe, there's a little bit of tweaks to it, just more so in the techniques, but everything else still remain the same. Per usual, everything will be listed in the description below. Can you guys please give this a thumbs up, leave a comment below, subscribe if you really like this recipe. There are many more yummy ones to come. The key to acheke is a good acheke. So I prefer the frozen one. I think it's better. And for the best results, make sure you thaw the acheke the night before. When you don't, you create an opportunity for your acheke to be mushy. So what it does is when the acheke isn't thawed all the way and you put it in the microwave or steam it, it creates hot spots, and there will be some spots that are mushy and others that are fine. So what you're going to do is break it up. You're going to at maximum, it may take like a minute or two, but once it's broken up, it should look something like this. For this size, you want to go in up with about 1 cup to a half a cup of water. You don't want to add too much water. My golden rule is if there's not enough water, you can always add more. But if it's too much, you can't take it out. So I'm just like mixing the water in there and just making sure everything is evenly coated, and I put it into the microwave 2 minutes at a time. Once I take it out and it's done 2 minutes, if it needs more water, I'll add just like a little splash, and it should look something like this when it's done. Fluffy, soft. This is the way that acheke is supposed to look. This is what it's supposed to be. It's just like super yummy. No matter what you do, if you can make the best fish, the best cucumber sauce, but if the acheke itself is not good, it really just changes the acheke experience. That's so funny. It really does change the acheke experience. So follow these rules, follow these techniques to make sure that your actual acheke is perfect, nice, fluffy, and soft. Now for the fishes, I went in with 1 snapper, 2 porgy, and I butterflied one of them. And times are so hard. That snapper alone was $17. So if you find yourself like times are really hard, gas prices are up, and you find that you are not hungry, you're not homeless, you really have to be grateful because everybody's situation looks differently. So I cleaned the fish. I make sure I dried it out thoroughly. Make sure there are no excess water lingering. When I'm giving these recipe, it's more so about techniques, right? Because there are a million recipes out there, but the best technique always wins. You're going to go on with your dry seasoning. Everything will be listed in the description below. Add everything and mix it up together. People get really upset when I tell them to use whatever seasoning that they like. They want to use my seasoning. But if there's a seasoning that I'm using and you don't have it, it doesn't change the acheke by much. It's still going to be good. I do know that some seasoning does alter the taste, but in the end, it's going to be yummy. I know I say this in every single video. Now, time for the fish. I always like to cut lines in the fish to make sure the seasoning enter inside of the fish. If you're not new here, you know that when it comes to seasoning food, I take my time. I do not play. I can take 20 minutes just seasoning food because I am that particular about it. Here's a story that nobody asked for. This acheke took about 5 years in the making. I used to love acheke. Like, I loved acheke so much, but I just once I started making it myself, I tried everything. I had so many seasonings until I finally developed this way. I never went back, and now it's almost difficult for me to eat anyone else acheke because I think my acheke is really good. Those who have tried it find it really yummy. It's always well seasoned. It's always over the top. My acheke is really unique. And this took years. When I first started, I just couldn't get it. I remember I would call my aunt and be like, how do you make DB? And she would tell me, but it's just something that I had to develop and learn on my own. So this time, I wanted to do something a little different. I don't know if I would continue doing this. So I did mayo, the seasoning that I used earlier, a little bit of lime. I mixed all of that up together, and I use that as the base, I use that on top of the fish. Mayo is like a moisturizer, that chicken was really moist. I mean, the fish was really, really moist. But I wouldn't say this technique is necessary for the fish. So this is not something I will continue to do. I would just stick to the regular way that I've been doing this. And the cool thing is, like, I'm always testing out new techniques to see, like, how can I improve it? But I think everything I've been doing just kind of works for the way that I like ATTIEKE. It's good. Everyone likes it. It's not bad, but just try it and see how you feel. Now, every time I'm baking a fish, a bed is always like imperative because this fish wasn't directly on the foil, the rack is in between it. I stuffed the body of the fish. For a better result, I would say that make sure your onion is a little bit finer, just because it cooks better and it's almost like pasty. So instead of doing this, I would chop up onion finely, do a little bit of green seasoning, stuff it in there so the moisture can just spread itself from inside to outside. Now it's just rubbing oil on top for it to go in and bake, and here's what it looked like. I baked this for 350 for about 30 minutes and then finished the remaining 5 minutes on like low broil to give it that crispy, charred look and taste. Here is where I just went left. Whenever I'm in the kitchen, I just follow the vibes. So I wanted like a green seasoning, and I just followed the peri-peri technique. Bell peppers, garlic, I toasted it, blended it up, and I fried it a little bit, and then I added it on top of the fish when it was done. For this base, I did a cilantro base. You know, I regularly cook cilantro with my fish, but I think this was incredible. Like, the two touches just meshed really well together. The grilled fish, right, on top of this grilled vegetables fried a little bit, like, flavor was next level. So here the fish was when it was done baking, and I just rubbed that on top. Absolutely incredible. 10 out of 10. There was nothing left. It's one thing for your food to be good, right? But when my children approve my food, it's like, oh, I know this was really, really good. So I went on and added this toasted vegetable mix on top of the fish for every single one of the fish, and once that was done, that was it. It was time to assemble. 10 out of 10. Every time I make an ATTIEKE recipe, mashallah, it's always pretty good. It's really, really good, and people really, really love it. Per usual, I always go on with my legendary cucumber sauce. It just takes ATTIEKE to the next level. I think mayo goes with ATTIEKE. There's some people who do not like mayo with ATTIEKE. I think it just helps the ATTIEKE go down really easily. It adds a special touch when you add the pepper sauce. Some will do like a gravy sauce and onion sauce. It goes well, but the way the fish was juicy, you just don't need any. You could literally eat the two together because of how moist it was with the mayo technique. Here's that ATTIEKE. I am spreading it out every time because I create content. You have to make the food look presentable because you guys don't know what it tastes like. I'm telling you it tastes good, but you guys don't know that. You're eating with your eyes, so I have to make sure the food look presentable. I added both my salmon fish, I added my porky fish, and then I went in with my butterfly porky fish. I assembled all the cucumber sauce, and everything was done. That is the recipe. You can go and compare it to my other ATTIEKE recipe. You will see some similarity, just like 1 or 2 differences. I hope you like this recipe. I always love when people send me the recipes when they try it. I really, really appreciate it. If you made it to the end, I would really appreciate if you could give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe if you like my recipes. I really, really appreciate it. It helps my small growing YouTube channel. Here I am just adding the cucumber sauce and all of like the quote unquote bald spots. This is the ATTIEKE for today. This is the recipe for today. I hope you like it. Thank you guys for supporting this channel. And until our next recipe, if you give it a shot, please let me know.